mishiring is just really bleeds the profitability of a business, and learning how to attract those ideal candidates. If you invest the time to do that, and then invest the time to shore up your onboarding system and make sure everything is dialed in, you're going to save so much money over time, and you're going to be attracting the A player that you want.
You work hard in your business. On the Profit by Design podcast, we ask the big question: what has your business done for you lately? Hi, I'm Dr. Sabrina Starling. I'm the business psychologist, the author of the 4-Week Vacation and the How to Hire the Best series, as well as the founder of Tap the Potential, where we coach entrepreneurs like you to design sustainably profitable businesses that give you more time for what matters most and more money in your bank account than ever. Because after all, we believe work supports life, not the other way around. Weekly on the Profit by Design podcast, we bring you tips, tools, and strategies from our own experiences and from the experiences of our guests who are entrepreneurial thought leaders and real life entrepreneurs, all to support you in making intentionally profitable and sustainable business decisions to live the lifestyle you desire. Hey there, Melissa. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. How are you?
I am great. I am so glad that we are here and we're going to talk about team development. And this is on the Profit by Design podcast. And as we record this for the podcast and we're streaming it live, one of the things that really stands out to me from the conversations that you and I have daily with business owners is they're so busy trying to make their business better and do all the things to work on the business, that one area that can easily get overlooked is team development. And so you and I are, because we're in the weeds ourselves when we're working on things at Tap the Potential. You're the lead strategist. I'm, the visionary CEO, and I'm doing all the different things. And one of an ongoing conversation that we've had is how challenging it can be to weave in team development with everything else going on. And so we've found some simple ways on the Tap the Potential team to make this happen. So today we're going to share what we're doing, kind of an inside peek, and hopefully it's going to be helpful to the business owners who are listening. And we have such a big focus right now on hiring. Everyone is struggling to hire. One of the easiest ways to hire the best is to have a great culture and be that great place to work. Team development ties right into that.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be overwhelming when you are just stuck in that survival trap in your business. And, as small business owners, so many times we're just completely overworked and overwhelmed and exhausted and burned out. And the last thing we want to do usually is add on another thing to what we're already doing daily. But team development is so important. And as you build that company culture, really, you're building a better place to work, and your team members are going to show up inspired and encouraged, and they are going to do more for your business and alleviate some of that pressure off of you.
Yeah, I think there's so much value that comes from team members getting to know one another on a personal level. I repeatedly cite this, but I have to say it again. There's research that shows that we will stay on the job longer when we have friends at work. And what's interesting to me about this research is that we will stay in a bad job longer when we have friends at work. And so when you have a great place to work, it's not a bad job, and you're supporting people in developing their relationships, of course they're going to stay. So this is just one more thing that you can do to retain the A players on your team.
For sure. And, at Tap the Potential, we have such a phenomenal company culture. We do have those relationships, and we do feel like we're coming to work every day to spend time with our family. And, I've said this before, I miss our Tap the Potential family on the weekends, and I want to set those boundaries around your work and personal life. And we do that exceptionally well. But when you do have those relationships, you just want to show up and work hard and support one another and have each other's back, which is one of our immutable laws at Tap the Potential.
Absolutely. So I want you to share what goes on in our team huddles and specifically the icebreakers.
Oh, I would love to. The huddle is one of my favorite times of the week. And when we meet in a huddle, we like to meet on Mondays because our team just decided to collectively that when we meet on Mondays, it sets the tone for our entire week. And I'm not the only one that shares that just inspiration that the huddle is the best time of the week. Several of our team members have said this. And when we meet in our huddles, it's really a time to find out, right? The overarching goal is to find out how we might support one another throughout the week, whether it's projects that we're working on or something that we might need from our clients. However, the very first thing we do is icebreaker questions. And the reason that we do these icebreaker questions is because it gives us a chance to get to know one another. We're building those relationships and learning more about one another. And one thing that is so beautiful about the icebreakers is we learn things that we had no idea about. And also we look for opportunities to discover things such as hobbies and interests and activities that we have for one another. And we take it a step further and actually record those things. And then when it's a team member's birthday or anniversary, we have great ideas for gift giving. And it really just uplifts our mood. Sometimes we break out in a song and, our team members just light up. And the cool thing is there's usually going to be someone on your team that's a little bit more quiet. But when we bring in these icebreakers, it gives them the opportunity to speak and be a part of the team instead of sitting in the background. And I love that about the icebreakers.
Yeah, it helps people to come out of their shells. And one of the things that I've experienced is we've brought people onto the Tap the Potential team who've been in corporate environments previously. And when you're in a corporate environment, you learn to stay in a box, kind of like your little box of safety, because you don't want to overstep out of your lane or do anything that might be offensive to someone else. There's a lot of emphasis on being very professional and showing up in a certain way. And the icebreakers give people permission to bring their whole self into the workplace. Like, I'm a full human being. And here are the things that I like to do away from work. And here's just, in the asking for support, that is such a critical piece, because if we're not paying attention to what's going on in our team members' lives, the whole context of how they're showing up every day, there's good chances that there's opportunities for us to support that we would miss out on. And those team members would end up burning out, because if they're juggling a lot in their personal life and then feeling the pressure, like I have to show up and I have to have my best face on and I can't let on what's going on in my personal life, then that's an extra layer of stress that gets added for them. And that doesn't need to be there. And one of the things that I've noticed, and I pick up on this on conversations after the huddle with people checking in with each other throughout the week and offering support to make sure that team member is doing okay, no matter what's going on in their personal life. And what that actually allows to happen is that team member feels like this is a safe, supported place. I can come here, I can be myself. I know I'm going to be valued and appreciated. And then the team members end up doing a better job because they've been able to release and let go of some of the stress that's coming in from home.
Yeah, it really does. And it just lets our team members know that we care about them. And, we believe that work supports life, not the other way around. And when I show up with you, Dr. Sabrina, with our other team members, I always feel that life comes first. And that's a beautiful gift that we give each other on our team. And not only does it allow you to do the things that you need to do in your life, but it makes you show up so much bigger and more motivated when you're at work. And the icebreakers really give us an opportunity to, like you said, share what might be going on, but it is an amazing feeling when a team member reaches out throughout the week to say, hey, how is this going? Or, we talked yesterday in our quarterly team meeting about burnout. And you said this about me, maybe check in with Melissa and see if she needs some studio time. And, that's the value of the huddle and the icebreaker questions, because, we do our team is 100% remote. And when we're meeting on our Zoom calls, face to face, we know each other so well. When we see that energy just drained or the inflection in the voice, we know that it's time to show up for that other person on our team.
And one of the things that I like to always point out is that A players have a different psychology than typical team members. So when you're building your team of A players, you need to be sensitive to the psychology of A players. And one of the things that's a very real phenomenon with A players is we're overachievers. And we will say yes to, if something needs to be done, we'll say, yes, we will do it. Yes, we will do it. Yes, we'll get it done. And so that's great. And it also can be a setup for burnout because the A players can have too much on their plate and they may be trying to hold it all together. And then if you have life circumstances that get piled on top of that, there's a lot of stress going on for that A player. So being able to have ongoing conversations with A players on your team about their responsibilities and are they delegating, are they letting go of the appropriate things, and what is their stress level, so that there's constant attention being paid to that and the A players are not burning out. And so one of the fastest ways to get a temperature check with your team is in the huddles. And because that's where you're going to learn what's really going on for someone besides just everything they're getting done and the results that they're producing at work.
For sure. And, another thing that the huddle does for us is give us a level of accountability. So situations where an executive assistant is trying to schedule a meeting with the entire team or someone's waiting on a document, that's a great time to reach out in a very supportive way during the huddle. And it's also informative because the team is on the same page. They know what's going on. They know what's coming up, and they can really be proactive about their responsibilities. And when you take the time to develop that relationship with other team members and you understand them as a person, it's a lot easier to have open and honest communication when issues do arise.
Absolutely. So it's like putting the deposits in the emotional bank account. There's a lot of deposits going in. And then when you have to have conversations about tough situations or giving feedback that may be perceived as criticism, you are making withdrawal from that emotional bank account. So a good rule of thumb in a healthy relationship is a 7-to-1 ratio, 7 deposits into the account for every one. And if you can have a 20-to-1 ratio or a 40-to-1 ratio, even better. So everything that you do, every time you stop to listen to someone or have a conversation, check in with them, those are the deposits in the emotional bank account. And so, when we talk about let's make team development simple, taking the time just to have conversations is a part of making team development simple. So, Melissa, I am really curious. I know you love the icebreakers. What are some of your favorite icebreaker questions?
So I want to share a tip. If you're looking for icebreaker questions, simply just type it in your browser, icebreaker questions for team meetings. Some of my favorites are, if you were a Disney character, who would you be? Another one is, what type of work environment do you like to work in? We had a really fun time with these. Another one is, if you had to give up your phone or your computer, which one would you give up? We're working remotely. That one was really fun. And sometimes they're very deep and intense, and then sometimes they're just fun. Like, for example, you're going to sing karaoke, so what song are you going to pick? And really, we discover things about one another that we wouldn't have imagined. And that's the fun thing. And it allows us, when we're having fun together, we're de-stressing. We're bringing positive energy in. We're uplifting each other's moods. And, sometimes as we enter in our huddles, you can just see immediately, oh, this team member must be having a difficult day, or it was a difficult weekend, or there's this stressor going on. And then when we get talking and they feel loved and supported, and they have no idea what question I'm going to ask when we go into the huddle. So it's funny because it throws everyone off a moment, but then we just burst out laughing. And laughter is just always the best medicine for anything that you might be going through.
Absolutely. Teams that laugh together and have fun together are always going to be more productive. It's such a big tension release to have a good laugh and connect. And, the other thing that I want to share is something really fun that we did yesterday. And we had our quarterly all team meeting where we do team development. And this is something new that we've started in since the beginning of the year. So this is our second all team development meeting. And what I asked the team members to do is to fill out a user manual. And I will tell you, when I checked in during the team meeting yesterday and started off and said, well, how was the experience of filling out the user manual? I got fairly consistent feedback that no one likes the name user manual. So we are on the hunt for a better name for this. So if anyone is listening, and as I describe what we did, you can think of a better name, please reach out, let us know, comment on the post and let us know what your idea for a better name is. But essentially, this is a one sheet. And it's meant to be kind of a highlight overview of the individual, of the environment we like to work in, how best to communicate with us, what our strengths are, what we need, areas where we feel like we need support, the things we love, and fun facts about us. And so each team member filled out one of these one sheets, and we got to share them on the team meeting. And what was so fun for me, Melissa, is I read through everyone's before the meeting and I saw patterns and I saw a lot of similarities. We're all virtual. We all like our quiet workspaces, quiet, clean, organized workspaces was a big thing. And I think that's part of what attracts people to virtual work is you have some sense of control over your working environment and your workspace. A lot of us like dogs around, and particularly dog snores, puppy snores, and dog sounds, not the barking, but just the sound, or the sound of kids around, lightening the energy. And so these were things I didn't know about our team. But one of the really fun things that started to happen is as each person shared, I could see that people were connecting and learning about them and finding ways to connect with one another that they hadn't known about previously. We have one of our team members who eats a bit of chocolate every single day. And that led to a deep discussion on different kinds of chocolate and making sure that people who produce chocolate are being treated fairly, all kinds of things that we would not have discussed otherwise. But it was really a fun way to connect. So I want to invite you, Melissa, to share a little bit about your experience on that call.
Well, my first thought was, this team, Dr. Sabrina, you care enough about us to want this information. That was so impactful for me. And as I was going through my answers, I thought, this is going to be so cool to have this user manual for my team members, because then I know their preferred way to communicate, things that they struggle with, the things that they need. And those fun facts, you got to see each other in a different light and discover things that you had previously didn't know. It was very challenging, I think, across the board. All of the team agreed to fill that out. And I think a lot of that comes from, we're very servant-hearted on our team. And sometimes it can be challenging to talk about ourselves. But everyone came through because we knew that this is a tool that is really going to benefit our company culture and one another. And it actually was a time of self-discovery for me to reflect back on things that I might be missing in my work environment, or things that I need, or a reminder that I need to speak up during certain times. And to know that your company cares that much about you to want to know the information, give you time to complete the information, and then meet together as a team and share it with one another just means so much.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciated everyone taking the time to fill it out. And because there were questions that were thought provoking on there, like, how do I like to receive feedback? And I think that all of us had different responses to how we like to receive feedback. So that's very valuable, not just to me, but for everyone on the team, because we have to give feedback to one another at different times. And so now we have these user manuals stored in a shared drive, and we can check them out any single time. One of my favorite things that happened from this meeting is just a couple hours after the meeting, I had a team member who needed to get in touch with me. They had some questions that were time sensitive, and I hadn't responded in our usual channel of communication. And they sent me a text message and said, hey, there's some time sensitive info over here. Would you please go look at it? And if I hadn't put that in my user manual, if we wouldn't have had that conversation, that team member would have been waiting for something and been bottlenecked because I wasn't responding to them. And so now all of us team members have that for one another, and we know the best way to communicate. And if somebody's not responding, go over here and try this, because that's how you get their attention. So it keeps things flowing for us.
It was also a really supportive time. One of the things that I struggle with is I love big projects, and I love to just dig in to learning something new and then implementing it within Tap the Potential. And I shared that sometimes I really find it difficult to ask for help. And, Donna, who's been on our team for 14 years now, who is just our rock, she's a planner. She likes to know the big picture and way in advance so that she can plan things out. But Donna spoke up after I shared my struggle and said, hey, I am always here for you. And even though I like to plan, I will always support you and help you out. And that just means so much to me. And I'm sure everyone else on the team that heard that.
Yeah. Well, and Donna speaking up and sharing that is so critical because of the roles that you're in. Your lead strategist, she is our client support specialist. So she is there to make sure that the clients have everything they need. You are in the midst of launching a big program for us, the Dream Manager. And so that's a new initiative. And Donna is going to be integral in getting people onboarded for that and making sure they have everything they need. And so my experience of Donna in all the years that she's been with us, 14 years now, it's just amazing to me. But she's been with us 14 years, and she is very planful and detailed and organized. And when she knows we have a need or there's something really big going on, she shows up and she is there. And so I know that about Donna, but newer team members, and you're in a new role working with her, you might not have known that. So that user manual discussion opened up a channel of communication and a channel of support that you might not have been aware of previously.
Absolutely. And since you shared about the Dream Manager program, the cool thing was in our fun facts section of the user manual, some of those dreams came out, and I was filling it out, and as I'm reviewing all of our course materials and getting ready to launch that program, I even realized there's so many dreams that I have that I put on the back burner and stopped thinking about. So to have just the set aside time to think through the user manual, it gave me that opportunity to reconnect with passions that I have.
Yeah. So it occurs to me as we're talking, the Dream Manager is another team development activity, and it's a huge one. And so Melissa is going through Dream Manager certification. You get to do that training next week. You've got 2 days blocked off on your calendar. You're going to do your own little mini retreat while you do the training. And then you're going to come and you're offering it to team members in our clients' businesses, and you're also offering it to the Tap the Potential team members. So we're all going to go through the Dream Manager program as well, because I think one of the things at Tap the Potential that makes us unique is we walk our talk. We don't roll anything out to clients unless we've done it ourselves or are doing it ourselves, so that we have that experience too. And we really know what it's like from the client perspective. But one of the things that I'm so excited about with respect to Dream Manager is that I firmly believe that we need to have these mutually invested relationships on our team. So we business owners, we need to have that big vision of where the business is going, and we need to be bringing on team members who are excited about that vision, and they support and make it happen. And as a part of that, we need to be creating opportunities to support the team members in achieving their goals and dreams. And the Dream Manager program is the number one best way to accomplish that.
It is. The Dream Manager program is a year-long program, and we're going to meet once a month for an hour and a half. And each participant will actually have a dream book. And we're going to be identifying our dreams personally and professionally, and coming up with a strategic plan on how to achieve the goals that we're setting for ourselves. And the cool thing is, we're going to be talking about our dreams, but we're making a plan. We're setting aside purposeful time to create that plan. And we go over finances, how to fund our dreams, and how effective do we spend our time and our energy. And it really is a coaching program. And I'm just so thrilled that we are offering this at Tap the Potential. It's based on the book, The Dream Manager by Matthew Kelly. And when I read the book, I cried many times throughout the book. And I just can't wait for us to implement this. It's such a valuable gift. And I share this with you and with our clients all of the time. Your team members aren't just motivated by a paycheck. They're motivated by so much more. And it begins with showing that you care about them. You know, having these huddles and the one-on-one meetings and the icebreaker questions where you're asking them personal questions, and programs like the Dream Manager. Another program that we offer at Tap the Potential is How to Hire the Best, which we do have coming up. And we've had so many A players go through that program. It's really impactful for the team member and the business owners.
Yeah. So, when I started working with business owners, I've always been passionate about creating great places to work. And that comes from my own experience as a doctoral student in psychology. I worked in all kinds of mental health arenas and organizations, and I was always really baffled by these organizations that were led by psychologists and psychiatrists, and they were very dysfunctional organizations. And I thought, how crazy is this that even psychologists and psychiatrists can't get this right? Like, what does it take to really make a good work experience for people? And we spend so much of our lives at work. And I knew firsthand in my last job, I had a bully boss, and we had an office environment that was full of politics and drama and a lack of safety. There were a few people we could trust, and that was kind of like who we went to, but you didn't talk to anybody else because you didn't know who was going to stab you in the back. And it was awful. And I got very into the research on what does it take to create a great place to work. And I did a lot within the organization from mid-level management to try to create a great place to work. And it was like beating my head against the wall. And so I transitioned out of that and I went into coaching because I wanted to repurpose my skill set as a psychologist and work with healthy people. And one of the things that just kind of kept coming up in my world were small business owners who wanted to create a great place to work and didn't have the skills to do it. And I thought, oh, this is great. These people really want to. And they just are doing it the wrong way. And I could teach them the right way. And so everything we do at Tap the Potential is around supporting business owners and creating these great places to work. And the beautiful thing is when you know how to create a great place to work, you attract A players to your team. And that gives you the opportunity to delegate and to grow a team that can take those responsibilities off of you. And you, the business owner, get to focus on what you love most in the business. And you have the ability to be away from the business. And, like I wrote about in the 4-week vacation, be fully unplugged for an extended period of time so that you can refresh and recharge. the How to Hire the Best course is really the foundation of all of that. And when I wrote the How to Hire the Best book, it was because I saw so many business owners struggle with hiring team members. And they really had this feeling of, well, I'm a small business owner. I'm in a small town. I just have to make do with what I have. And that resulted in these teams where people were unhappy, unproductive, and the business owner felt like they were babysitting, essentially. And so I would say you need to let go of those people. You need to hire A players. And I was hearing this constant feedback of, I don't know how to do that. And as I dug in, I realized there were not books out there that were for small business on hiring. There were a lot of books for corporate hiring, but not small business. And that's how I came to write the How to Hire the Best series. And the beautiful thing about writing a series of books on the same topic is I got a lot of feedback from people using the strategies, and I was able to hone it down to, these are the things that work consistently, and these are the easiest things to do that work consistently. So in the How to Hire the Best course, it's a 5-week course, and there are move forward action steps from week to week. They're simple action steps. They build on each other. And so when you complete the course, you have a system for hiring A players and attracting A players to your team. 9 out of 10 small business owners have no system for doing that. So the people who go through the How to Hire the Best course, it's a huge leg up for you in your business to have that system. The other thing that we do in the How to Hire the Best course is we feature our participants in the Great Place to Work Spotlight. So when you complete 90% of this move forward action steps, we bring you onto the podcast. We give you a logo that says as featured in Half the Potential's Great Place to Work Spotlight. You get to talk about the simple things that you're doing in your business, just like Melissa and I are talking here about the simple things we're doing at Tap the Potential that help us attract A players to our team and keep A players on our team. You get to come and share that on the podcast, and it's material then that you have to support you in your recruiting efforts. Because just imagine what it means to a potential candidate in your business to see that this business has been featured in the Great Place to Work Spotlight. And this is a business owner who's putting a lot of intention around team development and creating opportunities for people to advance in the business and really wanting team members to thrive. And so what I think is so fun about the How to Hire the Best course is we've created a course that is very simple for business owners to go through. It requires a low time investment and just significant intention on creating a great place to work and doing those small steps forward. And they lead to big change over time. We've had business owners who go through the course who've struggled with hiring for years, and they go through the course and then they start hiring those A players, and it just transforms the business.
It does. And so many business owners don't have a huge network of other entrepreneurs to bounce ideas off and talk to. So you have accountability partners through that course. And a really cool thing that we do in the course is look at job descriptions, the career pages on your website, and you have an opportunity to bounce those off of the other course participants for ideas.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about the job descriptions too, because the job ads that people create, when we go to write a job ad, we tend to look at, well, what do other job ads look like? And we end up creating a job ad that looks like everybody else's job ad. Well, if your job ad looks like everybody else's job ad, it's not going to stand out. It's not going to get noticed. So in the How to Hire the Best course, you learn how to create a job ad that is unique to your business. No one else is going to have an ad like this. And the ad is intentionally designed to weed out all the wrong people and attract the right people. And just to really speak to this, because at Tap the Potential, we walk our talk. We are in the midst of hiring for 2 success concierges on the Tap the Potential team. So we have a job ad that we've created. It's very unique, very different. Everyone that's looked at it, that's given me feedback, has said, I've never seen a job ad like this. And I said, that's the point. It's supposed to be different. And we had a lot of applicants on LinkedIn, but they weren't doing what they were supposed to do to apply for the job. And so our team, we had these discussions about, like, no one's really coming forward. They're not doing the things that we're asking asking, maybe we need to revise the ad, but we held true. And sure enough, we've had 2 very strong candidates. And I'm just so excited about the 2 that we've gotten to interview and take through this process. We've had 2 very strong candidates who actually did what they were supposed to do, met the criteria, and they're moving through the process. So what is important about this is the interview process and screening applicants is one of the most time-consuming things for business owners. And so if you can write a job ad that screens out all the wrong people and filters down to attract the handful of the people that are the right people, and then you interview those individuals, you have a much greater chance of hiring people who are going to be A players, and they'll be a good fit for your team. And you know that you're not interviewing people who just blanket applied and they're mildly interested or committed. They're just kind of looking for a paycheck. That's not who you want to hire in your business. So learning how to write that job ad really gives you that opportunity to just be attracting A players from the start. And so you mentioned the network that you have in the How to Hire the Best course. We have weekly Q&A calls, and I look at the job ads that have been submitted in our Slack channel, and I give live feedback to our participants on improving their job ad and making it more unique to them. And we do the same thing with careers pages. That's the number one, the job ad and the careers pages are the number one places that overhauls and makeovers are typically needed, but not huge makeovers. It's things that are fairly simple to do, like learning how to ask your team members to give a testimonial about their experience working for you and including that in your ads and your careers pages really all of a sudden makes you a lot more attractive to candidates.
It does. And mishiring is just really bleeds the profitability of a business, and learning how to attract those ideal candidates. If you invest the time to do that, and then invest the time to shore up your onboarding system and make sure everything is dialed in, you're going to save so much money over time, and you're going to be attracting the A player that you want.
Yeah. So I think we need to give the URL in case people want to check out the course page for How to Hire the Best. It's tapthepotential.com/course. That's tapthepotential.com/course. And one of the things that is important to know about registering for this course is once you register, you have access to the course for your lifetime. You can go through it as many times as you want for no additional fee, and you can send your team members through it as many times as you want for no additional fee. And the reason we do that is we have business owners who sign up and they start off gung-ho for the first couple of weeks, but then life happens. Something takes them away from completing the course. And so the next time it's offered, and we offer this fairly continually, the next time it's offered, they have the opportunity to go through it again and pick up where they left off and continue doing those move forward action steps so they can get featured in the Great Place to Work Spotlight. I think Sarah Martin, when she came on the podcast, she said, I've been through the course 5 times and I finally got, all my steps done. But she's been doing some amazing things in between to make her place a great place to work. So we want to make this an experience for business owners where it's totally doable. You don't have to be bogged down by the challenges of hiring. You really can create a great place to work and become that employer of choice for those that you want to attract to your team.
And you don't have to do it alone.
No.
It's a great opportunity, especially, like Sarah, when you jump in multiple times, you are networking with more and more business owners and team members. And then that gives you the opportunity to learn from their experiences and get their feedback.
Absolutely. And learning from each other and what's working, it's so powerful because you're in the How to Hire the Best course with business owners across different industries. And so if you hear a business owner doing something in their industry that's working for them and you bring it into your industry and no one else is doing it, now it's another way of making yourself totally unique and different. So this cross-industry idea sharing and brainstorming that gets going is incredibly powerful. The other fun thing about the How to Hire the Best course is that we have business owners who repeat the course. And that's really valuable to the participants who are brand new to the course, because they can, one, learn, even if you don't finish the course, you can have hiring success from what you learn in, weeks 1 and weeks 2. And then if you finish it, the success gets more predictable and you're much more likely going forward to hire those A players. But it's that wisdom of other business owners who've walked this path too, and heard what's working for them and what were the key pieces that they pulled from the How to Hire the Best course that really made an impact on them being able to hire that next A player on their team. This is a very tough and challenging hiring environment. And when you understand the psychology of A players, you're going to show up differently and you're going to recruit differently than the typical business is out there recruiting right now. And it's not all about wages and salaries and offering top wages and salaries. Just like Melissa was mentioning previously, there's a lot of simple things that you can do that make you a great place to work, that where A players want to be, even if you can't, compete with the wages and salaries that some places are offering around you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Another thing that I really love about the course and everything that we do at Tap the Potential is we have business owners from the same and different industries who connect with one another and then schedule regular meetings together. I was speaking with one of our clients this week. Immediately when he was sharing a situation that he's going through with his business, I thought, oh, he needs to connect with another client that has been through our program in the past. And he mentioned later in the call, oh, we meet every, bi-weekly. And just to know that our clients have that support with one another is just so impactful. Everything that we're talking about leads back to business owners really wanting to be the best. And as he shared with me this week, he signed up for Tap the Potential because he wants to build a better business and be a better leader.
Yeah. And we have these business owners that we get to work with who are really committed to learning and growing and that constant improvement. And so when you're in an environment and a network of other business owners like that, it really helps you and builds you up very quickly. And I think we don't realize how quickly this happens, this transformation starts to happen, but in a few short months, because the saying is that we're the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Well, when you are a part of the programs and things that we do at Tap the Potential, you're really surrounded by the best. We have a saying that A players hang together, and it's very true. I said that just in relation to recruiting, but I notice it in our programs that the best business owners are coming together and helping each other to learn and grow and constantly improve. So I hope, Melissa, that what we've shared today is giving business owners a lot of ideas of some simple things they can do, but really that sense of there's opportunities to be a part of a community at Tap the Potential to get nurtured and to really continue that growth as a business owner.
I hope so. One of our business owners, Sarah, who you spoke about earlier, recently we were working on her action plan, and I said, Sarah, your business and you personally, but your business is just life-giving. And that really sums up everything that we are doing. And it's just a joy to be on that journey with our business owners and with one another.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who are curious who Sarah is, she was on episode 200, Sarah Martin, in the Great Place to Work Spotlight. And that's part of what makes her business a great place to work is Sarah's intent and desire to make it a life-giving business and all the ways that she's giving back to the community and making her community better through her business. And I know we have so many business owners in the Tap the Potential community who have that same desire, that it's not just about growing the profit of the business so the business owner can be profitable. It's about creating a business that creates opportunities for others and is an integral part of the community. So we just are so lucky, Melissa, we get to work with these business owners every day. It's so inspiring.
They are. They really give us, I think, as much as we give them.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being here with me today, Melissa. We hope the Icebreakers have been helpful. And in terms of a small step forward from this, go do an icebreaker in your team meeting next week and see what happens. And just watch the energy that comes from those conversations.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Join our conversation in the Entrepreneurs Take Your Life Back Facebook community at tapthepotential.com/group. Share your aha moments from today's episode, ask me questions, and join in on the fun with your fellow entrepreneurs on the journey to designing sustainably profitable businesses that give you more time for what matters most and more money in your bank account than ever. And finally, share today's episode with a friend if you know a friend who would enjoy it. This is real life business. Keep your chin up, keep moving forward. You got this. If you've gotten value from today's show, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you are a repeat listener of the podcast, know that we greatly appreciate you at Tap the Potential. And to that end, I have a request. Please consider leaving us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. Our reviews help other entrepreneurs like you to find us. Be a part of our movement to help entrepreneurs take your life back from your business.